belong to the governor.
Regulate me, there is an AIE order under that office.
There is an AIE hold, of course, but the document is clear. These are transactions in the office
of the governor.
Good. Please confirm, Mr. Munene, that the governor's explanation for all these prepayments is that they were impressed. Is that what the record shows?
That is not what the governor's explanation is.
Sergeant at times, is there a problem with the witness's microphone? And Mr. Mnene, when you're responding, get closer to the microphone so that we can hear your response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it's now clearer.
Mr. Munene, you know there is a matter on the record. Are you saying the governor's explanation is not that the prepayments on these IFMIs were impressed, that our sister Rose Kinya and the other officers were holding?
The explanation is that it's a recurrent expenditure.
Can I refer you to page 8 of the governor's response? Are you there, Mr. Munene?
No, I am not.
Page 8 of the governor's response, Mr. Speaker.
Tell my advocate to guide me with documents. Tell them to give me the documents.
At page 8, paragraph 1.1.12, what is the explanation the governor offers?
As late as 15th August 2023, the mover of the motion at the County Assembly publicly through his Facebook page stated that the PA, driver and protocol people were entitled to facilitation. That's a statement of fact.
What does she say at paragraph 1.1.7 of our defense?
So which page?
Page 7.
However, no embezzlement of funds has been established. Rose receives money as an imprest holder from time to time as per DMs.
Good. So you agree with me, sir, the governor's explanation for these prepayments, specifically the ones to our sister, is impressed. It's there in black and white, Mr. Munene.
Yes, I agree, it's impressed.
Good. To the best of your knowledge of the law, sir, can a public officer hold two imprests at the same time?
What do you mean by two impressed?
Exactly that. Two imprests. Can an officer hold two concurrent imprests?
Yes.
Are you familiar, sir, with the Public Finance Management, in bracket, County Government Regulations of 2015?
Yes, I am.
Can you read Regulation 93, paragraph 4, subparagraph B.
Regulation 93, it's on classes of imprests.
Yes.
An imprest shall be issued for a specific purpose, and any payments made from it shall be only for the purposes specified in the imprest warrant. There are two types of imprests, namely temporary or safari imprests and standing imprests.
If you pause there, the imprest alluded to in the governor's response is the temporary or safari imprest. Correct or incorrect?
I don't get the allusion.
You just read for us, there are two types of imprest.
Yes.
One is standing, and the other one is temporary, also known as safari. Now back to the defense you read for the governor. Didn't she say these were imprest for per diems?
Yes.
Therefore, you would agree with me, the governor's explanation refers to temporary or safari imprest. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
And in fact, we are told in subparagraph 3 that these are meant for official journeys. Correct or incorrect from the regulation?
Where?
The same page you're looking at, regulation 93, subparagraph 3.
Says that temporary imprests shall be issued mainly in respect of official journeys and are intended to provide officers with funds with which they can meet traveling, accommodation, and incidental expenses.
Sir, is it possible for an officer to be on several safaris on the same day so that they would have several imprests on the same day?
I don't think there is a place where we have gotten several imprests on
Just
the same
answer
day.
my question, sir. We'll get there. Is it possible for a human being to be on 5 safaris on the same day?
It depends.
It depends.
Yes.
That takes me to paragraph 4, subparagraph B. Can you read it for the Senate?
Still on Regulation 93?
Of course, sir.
Before issuing temporary imprests under paragraph 2, the accounting officer shall ensure that the main objective of the journey cannot be achieved by other cheaper means. B, the applicant has no outstanding imprests.
Good.
C,
The accounting of
this whole proceeding or this whole sitting and the hearing will be taking place. Remember, after the sitting starts at 9 a.m. or once the chair is taken, the members will be retreating to have a pre-hearing meeting of the senators in a closed door session. Then they will be resuming to the chambers at around 11 according to the order of business for the day, and then the hearing will be open to the public. But I look at what exactly this governor faces is that when the Senate received the resolutions from the County Assembly pursuant to Standing Order 80 over the House on the procedure for removal of a governor, is that within 7 days after receiving notice of a resolution from the Speaker of a County Assembly supporting the removal of a governor of a county, of course, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, there are two options. The Speaker of the Senate shall convene a meeting of the Senate to hear the charges against the governor, and in this case, the House can make a resolution on whether to hear these proceedings or these accusations at a committee stage or at plenary. And what we understand is that the House on Tuesday resolved to have these matters investigated and determined at the plenary. So today marks the beginning of the official hearing over the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the governor of Meru County. And like I told you earlier, is that the Speaker will be getting into the chambers, give a communication, of course, guiding the House on how this whole process will take place, and the senators will be retreating to a closed session. I now hand you over to this live broadcast. Good morning.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with abundant favor and blessings us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
That is the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi. He has taken the chair, but before the commencement of the House business, remember, much as this sitting is on the consideration or the hearing of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the governor of Meru County, the House has to follow the standing orders that at the commencement of a sitting, then the House has to have a requisite quorum. In this case, 15 members needed to be in the chambers for the House to commence its business at any particular sitting or at any committee of the whole. So in this case, the bell will ring for 10 minutes as directed by the Speaker. Of course, this is pursuant to the House Standing Order number 40. But even before the lapse of the 10 minutes, if the House has achieved or will have achieved the requisite quorum, then the Speaker will call the House to order, of course, and the business will start or rather will commence. But I look at what exactly this sitting is all about this morning. Remember, the Senate usually sits in the afternoon sitting, and today is a Tuesday. Its normal plenary sittings is on an afternoon, but today we are having this sitting on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. and this is purposely to have the hearing of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Meru County governor. So the quorum bell is on. But remember, the House last week resolved to have these accusations against the governor be heard and determined at the plenary sitting. So today marks the official sitting. And this was determined on Tuesday of 31st. And the both sides, that is the county assembly, remember what has been happening since the House ruled that the investigation or the hearing will be done at the plenary, is that the parties were summoned to the parties. By parties, I mean the county assembly and the executive, that is the side of the governor.
Submitted by way of receipts, by way of boarding passes and related documents to show indeed the money was spent for these purposes. Is that your testimony, Mr. Munene?
No, that is not my testimony.
Good. In the surrender forms governor has presented to the Senate, have you seen any supporting documents other than the work ticket, the same work ticket used for 4 months, 17 times?
Which one is that?
I'll read the number for you because we went through it yesterday. It is work ticket number 824574, and it appears, for the record, Mr. Munene, in pages 104, 118, 129, 138, 150, 189, 204, 244, 245, 262, 269, 276, 284, 292, 300, 312, and 327 of the governor's bundle.
The documents that you're referring to me are different.
Have you read their serial numbers, sir?
I've read their content.
Their content is of course different because it's a forgery, but it's in the serial number, the same for all of them.
It is not a forgery, it's a photocopy.
Any evidence to show it is a photocopy before this Senate?
Yes, there is.
Can you point it to us? And as you look for the evidence, as you assisted, sir, aren't these work tickets pulled from a serialized book? Wouldn't photocopying be antithetical to the very reason of them having serial numbers? So that even if we were to take it, Mr. Monene, that these are photocopies, which they are not, the photocopying would itself be an act of fraud, wouldn't it? Because it would defeat the purpose of having a serial number. It is still fraudulent accounting, isn't it? Would you agree, sir?
I have not seen any evidence of serial number that you are referring to.
It is your case. Okay, you can be shown because, you know, it's in black and white, Mr. Monene. You can't deny the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It's in black and white.
Oh, just it.
You will agree the reason work tickets have a serial number is to facilitate accounting, isn't it?
I may not entirely be in a position to respond.
You are not in a position.
Yes. But what I know is that this is a blank form that has been photocopied by the driver.
Has the driver come to testify here, sir, to say that he photocopied this form?
I'm giving that explanation.
Yes, but you are not the person who can tell us it was a photocopy. It is the driver who can say that. You are a lawyer, you know, correct or incorrect?
Yes, I'm a lawyer.
And you are aware as a lawyer The only person who can tell the Senate that form was photocopied is the one who photocopied it. Correct or incorrect? Is that the law, Mr. Munene?
Sorry?
Is it the law that you're speaking to hearsay when you say it is a photocopy? Did you witness the photocopying?
I know it has been photocopied.
Did you witness with your 2 eyes, Mr. Munene, photocopying?
No.
Good. So you cannot testify that it's a photocopy. Mr. Speaker, I led my remaining minutes to Mr. Maranya to do the remainder of our cross-examination.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just before I begin, Honorable Speaker, I must admit that the witness is my classmate. Nevertheless, I'll proceed to do the cross-examination. Mr. Munene.
Yes.
Speaker. Please confirm to this House that you are not in charge of County Public Service Board.
County Public Service Board is an autonomous body at the county government.
Very good. It's an autonomous body in the county government.
Yes, established under the County Government Act.
Meaning it's an independent government, or arm of a government. Sorry, dependent organ of a government, county government.
Yes.
Please confirm that matters employment falls within the realm of the County Public Service Board. Matters employment in the county government of Meru.
Matters recruitment. Matters employment fall both in terms of employees under the public service and also the County Public Service Board when it comes to recruitment.
Well, please confirm again that there's a specific spokesperson of the County Public Service Board other than yourself.
The County Public Service Board has established it as a secretary who is also
Who
the
is the
CEO
spokesperson, CEO and the spokesperson of the board?
The Act does not say that he's a spokesperson, but I know he's a secretary and the CEO.
In other words, can you speak on behalf of the board?
No.
No. You have made an allegation that the payment of one Dr. Toriti, Kenneth Kimadi, Paul Mwaki, was done in accordance with the court order. Is that so? You're still
Yes.
making the same argument?
Yes, I do.
I want to refer you to the letters that sent the stated persons on compulsory leave. Are you there?
Which bench are you referring to?
This page 336 of the County Assembly, Volume 2. Are you there? Kindly mindful of time.
Yes, I am.
Please read the second sentence beginning with while on compulsory leave.
While on compulsory leave,
Yes,
you will be entitled to your full salary
yes,
and other benefits that go
with your
with your contract.
very well.
Yes.
That means this letter is dated when?
6th of September 2022.
6th of September 2022. Written by who? Is it the County Secretary?
It is signed by Rufus Meriti.
What is the designation of that particular person?
Used to be a county secretary and head of public service.
While on compulsory leave, you will be entitled to your full salary and other benefit that goes with your contract. That's so? Please confirm that the court order dated 7th of October 2022 did not order the county government to pay salaries. Please confirm that particular court order. You can refer to it in the court order of 7th of October 2022.
It's on which page?
Page 418. Sorry, 416, sorry, my apologies. Does it make reference to salaries?
For which volume?
It can be shown by my colleague. Page 416 of the governance Bible. Sorry, on the county assembly Bible. Does it order the county secretary as well as the county governor to pay the petitioners their salaries? Please, mindful of time.
Okay, the order issues conservatory orders.
Does it order you to pay, does it order the governor to pay salaries as well as salaries? Does it speak of a salary in that? The order number one. It is
the interpretation of that order indicates that salaries should be paid.
Where specifically?
By restraining the respondents, whether by themselves, their offices, or their servants or agents whatsoever, from implementing the impugned decisions contained in the letters.
Where does the letter that you read is so expressed on payment of salaries? This particular one, does it speak of salary payment?
This particular order freezes the letter on compulsory leave.
Does not talk on salaries. It's a factual.
No, a subsequent one talks on salary.
No, not this one. We are going to the...
Not this one that you're talking about.
This one does not order you to pay the salaries.
No, but there is a subsequent one in the same matter, which you appear for the petitioners.
Do you still want to maintain that you are government that you are ordered by the court to pay salaries?
Yes, I still maintain that.
In accordance to?
In accordance to the court order.
Court order dated?
Let me take you there.
Court order dated? Kindly, mindful of time again.
Yes. The court order dated.
I'm only interested with the date. Dated when?
You're interested with the payment of salaries.
No, what is the date of that court order? What is the date of that court order?
19th October 2023.
19th October 2023, a year later. Confirm it's a year later. The other one is dated 7th of October 2022. That is a court order that came a year later. True.
But you want to confirm whether they are being paid their salaries.
Yes, please confirm whether it is a year later. I want to refer you to page number 34 of the County Assembly Bible, volume 2. Pages 34, sorry. It's a copy of the payslip. Are you there?
Page
34 of our Bible.
Yes.
The payslip is dated March 2023.
Yes, it's for the salary of 2023 March.
March.
Yes.
Very well. Now I want you to. Sorry, the final question. The very final honorable speaker. Whose responsibility is it to employ on acting capacities?
Sorry?
Whose responsibility is it to employ on acting capacities? Is it the County Public Service Board?
No, the County Public Service Board does not have that responsibility to employ on acting capacity.
Yes. Who has that responsibility?
The County Public Service Board can only employ in acting capacity where it has the responsibilities of employing those other, filling that position in substantive.
I am asking a simple question. Matters employment, whether in acting or substantive capacity, whose responsibility is that? In other words, I can refer you to section 59(1)(b) of the County Government Act.
I know section 64 also explains further that a public officer can employ in acting capacity, deployment or designation.
Honorable Speaker, could I have just 2 minutes to wind up? My apologies. Just 2 minutes. I don't want to act within or outside the timelines. But I could have just.
Okay, you have 2 minutes to conclude.
Very well. Thank you. I want to refer you to your letter signed by yourself on page 347 of your bundle. Of your index. Quickly, please. Dated 9th of March 2023.
Yes, I am there.
347.
Yes, I am there.
Who is that individual that you are appointing to act in an active capacity as Director of External Partnership?
I am deploying.
You are deploying?
Yes.
To act from where to where?
I'm deploying
From?
to the Directorate of External Partnership. Still within the...
From where to where?
Not from where to where, because it's still within that department.
It's very clear, from Office Administrator, Office of the Deputy Governor, to Directorate of External
Partnership Affairs.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did you have the powers to do that in accordance to section 59(1)(b) of the County Public Service Board?
In accordance to section 64, I had the powers to.
When you are doing this particular responsibility,
yes,
were you not acting under the directions of the governor?
I was acting as the acting county secretary and head of public service when we did not have that, when that position had not been filled.
You are deploying this person specifically to the office of the governor. True or not true?
That person was still in the office of the governor as an administrator to the deputy governor.
I'll make reference to one Edwin Murangeri, Kenneth Mweti Riongo, Gitobum Kanata, who are acting chief officers. Were these particular persons chief officers of substantive departments before they were deployed to act in those respective capacities?
Which one, sir?
I will refer you to pages 295 of volume 2. Are you there?
The County Assembly's document?
Yes, page 295.
Yes, I am.
Please read item number 6 on Elijah Kimathi Tonjera. Just after the word full security, read the next.
To move from the Department of Trade, Tourism and Cooperatives to Department of Agriculture and Food Security as the acting chief officer.
As acting chief officer.
Yes.
Please also read number 3, Kobia Faith Kadure.
To move to Department of Economic Planning and ICT perform the functions.
Now, and very last, in acting capacity again. Very last, read number 12, Kenneth Mweti Yongo. Very last.
To move from Department of Legal Affairs, Public Service Management and Administration,
yes,
to Department of Trade and Cooperatives to perform the functions of the Chief Officer trained.
In number 12, is there a reference to in acting capacity? Number 12, that's Kenneth Mweti Yongo.
No, because it's a deployment.
Is there a reference to acting capacity?
There is no, because it's a deployment.
There is no, I think that.
Yes.
Did this particular person go through the...
Council, your time is up.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Council for Governor, would you wish to re-examine?
Mr. Speaker,
Council,
sir,
how much time?
I will take 5 minutes or less.
Good.
I have a few questions for you, Mr. Dickson Munene. And one of the questions is about your status in the county government. You have told this House in cross-examination that you were the county secretary or acting county secretary, or that you were holding on to more than one docket. Can you explain that in detail and the circumstances under which that happened?
Okay. when on 30th September of 2022, the governor nominated myself together with 9 others for appointment as CECs. And the list was forwarded to the Assembly. Only 3 of us were approved. And on 2nd of November 2022, when we assumed office as a CCM, Legal Affairs and Public Service Management and Administration, it effectively meant that the term of the other CCs had lapsed. And then the governor to reorganize the executive in such a way that I had to own some position in acting capacity. When we came here for the impeachment motion last year on December, there's an issue that arose that the position of the county secretary had not been properly filled. And the governor, there was a recommendation that the position of the county secretary should be properly filled. That is through advertisement and recruitment and approval by the assembly, the county assembly. So the process began, and thereafter I was given the position to act as the acting county secretary and head of public service, while still owning my substantive position of the CCM, Legal Affairs and Public Service Management.
Okay, so it's that context that you have given this testimony?
Yes, it is.
Now, who are said to have embezzled funds from the county? Are they county officials or other citizens?
Sorry?
Who are said to have embezzled the funds? Who are claimed to have embezzled funds? In terms of designation, or is it correct to say that these are public officials who are attached to the county? Is that correct? That's an allegation.
Yes.
And these are under your docket, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So that it is in that capacity that you are giving your testimony today?
Yes, because these are officers that are under public service.
My good friend, Mr. Thiankolu, made reference to the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act and the issues of incurring expenditure prior. What is your explanation about that?
Okay, thank you. I'm referring to it.
Referring
referred
Put
to,
more directly,
yes.
is it unlawful for a prepayment to be made? That is the submission.
It is not unlawful for a prepayment to be made because the regulations that you referred to, if you go to regulation 91 of the public finance management regulations of 2015, regulation 91 regulation 1 states that for the purposes of this subpart, an interest is a form of cash advance, which is a prepayment, or a float which the accounting officer may authorize to be issued to officers who in the course of duty are required to make payments which cannot conveniently be made through the cash office of a government entity or bank account. So this is where prepayments comes in.
Okay, so that is a legal basis for prepayments.
Yes.
Who is the accounting officer or the AIE holder in the office of the governor?
I indicated there is a chief officer. Initially, there used to be a chief of staff.
Are there mechanisms of accountability in respect to those those holders, those office holders?
Yes, there are.
Is there a distinction between IFMIS and imprest?
Yes, there is.
Just in brief summary, so that we, to the best of your understanding.
The interest is those prepayments and advances.
Yes.
IFMIS, it's actually a generated document from the IFMIS, which indicates the payments that have been made.
Indicates a payment that has been made.
Yes.
Okay. There was reference to payments that were made during the tenure of Governor Kiraitu, Honorable Kiraitu Murungi.
Yes.
Can you confirm, if it's true or not, that those payments were made actually on the same date? Is that something you're able to confirm?
Yes, I can confirm.
Is that the position?
It is the position.
So that the fact that a payment is made on a single day doesn't mean that that becomes an impeachable offense.
Yeah, and actually, and indicated the reasons why these payments are made on a single day is because at times the county can take 2 months or so, 3 months before the funds are released to the county. During this period, officers are sent to places. During this period, activities are going on. The county is still running. But on the basis that when these funds land to the county the account, then those people who have incurred expenses, they are going to claim those expenses, and the expenses might be paid in a day, even 5 of them, when the money is available.
So that is not irregular?
Yes, it is very regular.
Okay, we will. There was an issue I wanted to clarify about the court order. I saw the stay order, what you meant, what you understood by the stay order and what it meant.
Yes, what I meant is that after these particular officers were given letters were sent on compulsory leave, the court order froze that letter, those letters sending them on compulsory leave, meaning that they are entitled to their benefits and salaries as a consequence of that court order.
Okay. We can then answer the last question, which was very difficult, with its simple answer. Mr. Mudomi asked you about a worksheet, and he put you to task whether it was a photocopy or not. Do you remember that question?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. Was that document the original?
It was not the original.
So it must have been a copy.
It must have been a copy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, honorable senators, we will have 10 minutes for questions and clarifications, starting with Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my question uh, will go to the Council for the Governor. And let me start by saying that Article 195 of the Constitution is very clear in regards to the powers of the County Assembly in regards to being able to summon for any person to appear for purposes of giving evidence or information, and Part B of that compels for the production of documents. On Volume 2, page 31 and page 32, we have letters that the CEC had been requested to be able to issue audited reports for financial year 22-23, knowing very well we are currently in financial year 23-24. And apparently, the response to the letter...
Number one, communication from the chair.
Now, honorable senators, you will recall that at the sitting of the Senate held on Thursday, 2nd November 2023, I appointed Tuesday 7th and Wednesday 8th November 2023 as the days when the Senate will hear the charges for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kumurika Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. Subsequently, a procedural motion for the alteration of the sitting time of the Senate for Tuesday 7th and Wednesday 8th November 2023 to facilitate the impeachment hearing against the Governor of Meru County was considered and approved by the Senate on Thursday, 2nd November 2023. Consequently, a hearing program has been prepared and appended to today's order paper. Honorable Senators, as is the tradition, and in line with the schedule of activities for an impeachment hearing and plenary, the Senate will hold a closed preparatory session to discuss the management of the investigation. This is aimed at ensuring that the process is conducted seamlessly and concluded timely, in line with the requirements set out under the County Governments Act and the Senate Standing Orders. I now, therefore, direct that all members of public, including the media, to withdraw from the galleries and any form of broadcast from the chamber to cease forthwith. The open session and hearing will thereafter commence at 11 a.m. as per the hearing program. I thank you.
Well, as I had indicated earlier, is that the Speaker was to make a communication to the senators, guiding them on how the process will be going, and that communication has been made. Then the members are retreating to a pre-hearing session. This is a closed session, so they will be done by 11. It will be open to the public at 11 a.m. Allow me to hand it back to our studios in KBC for normal programming, but at 11 we shall be back with the proceedings over the Senate on this day. Good morning.
Section 103 of the PFM Act establishes the county treasury, and it puts the CEC in charge of finance as the head of the county treasury. Section 199 of the PFM Act, which is a penalty clause, stipulates penalties which are going to befall any public officer who is in charge of the resources and does not account for them. Could you kindly clarify whether the documents that you supplied in the case have been audited by the Auditor General and an opinion rendered by the Auditor General on the actual position of those funds? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Council, proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, we answered yesterday that the oversight function of the County Assembly and indeed of the Senate is not conditional upon or dependent on whether there is a report by the Auditor General. So it is no requirement that we have a report from the Auditor General as a precondition for raising the issues and picking up the problems that the Assembly has picked in this matter. It is true, Mr. Speaker, that under the PFM Act, the accounting officer would be either the CEC Finance or any other person designated. However, what we have equally found strange, and I think one